It's a pleasure having you in the studio.
Thank you, man. No, it's an honour to be here, honestly.
We really, 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 really love the song. We love I Only Smoke When I Drink, so much so it's our record of the week this week. I wanted to get you in so that we could find out a little bit more about you, a little bit more about the record. And I mean, first and foremost, it's absolutely blown up on socials. How does that feel?
It's crazy. I mean, there was, not to sound too like big-headed, but I definitely knew with that song, because I made that song at the beginning of at the end of last year, so like October last year, and getting the clearance on it was taking ages. And I knew for a fact there was just no way, like as soon as I put a teaser out, it would do some numbers. I obviously didn't know it would do the numbers that it did. Like I had no idea it would go that crazy, but I knew like I couldn't tease it without knowing that I could put it out. So we started teasing it, and then within like the first time I put it on TikTok, people were like, when is this coming out? I need this now. Like so impatient, like angry at me for not having it out immediately. I was like, all right, it's out in 3 weeks. The 3 weeks, every day that was going by was just more people getting angry at me, but also more people getting excited about a song coming out. So it was like, it's been crazy. Like the experience has been mad, but there's always been a part of me like kind of thinking I kind of felt like this was coming in a way with this particular tune. Like I don't really feel like I've ever had that in my head for my artist career, but with this particular tune, I just saw it reaching this like level.
Now, you see, my ethos always was and always will be that a big song deserves a big audience.
Sure.
And you've made a big song.
No, I appreciate that.
There's something in the sonic, there's something in the synth, in the warmth of that analog synth that opens it up. There's something in the skip of the drums. There's something in it that is like, get it in my veins now. Like, what is in this song? What was going through your mind when you were making it?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, it's all come out of an, like, kind of built off like authenticity in a way of like, I really make an effort to not think so much about what I'm doing. As soon as it comes into a place of making a song because this might fit with that, or like mathematically these notes go together, that's when like the magic's taken away from it. It's just a case of putting things in and being like, okay, that sounds good, that makes me feel good. Or if not, then just take it out or like mess with it until it does.
Where's the sample in I Only Smoke When I Drink from?
It's from a Rihanna J tune, who's like a sort of hip hop artist from LA. Do you know her?
I don't.
Yeah, she's sick. She's sick. So I was listening to her album, and I heard that tune like a few years ago, and I remember thinking, damn, that's just so mad. I don't know why that particular moment just stuck out way more than the rest of the tune. And I would keep like going back to that particular bit and just listening through that little moment and being like, damn, I want to do something with that moment, but I don't know what it is yet. And so I put it to the side, took that vocal, put it to the side, and then I started making this completely like weird little wobbly like synthy beat, and it was like 90, 100 BPM, sped that up, and then I was like, oh, what was that vocal sample I hadn't touched in like years? And I chucked it in, and it just fit perfectly, yeah. Again, it's I never set out with the thought like, oh, I'm going to make a song like that. It just was there, and I was like, oh yeah, that's perfect.
I mean, you can see by my reaction, like, wow. Wow. Because that's, to be honest, it makes perfect sense. Because the joy in this song, the kind of, the feel that you get from this song, it can't be something that is premeditated. It's just got to be, it's such a great, and look, even Diplo's playing it.
Yeah. I saw that. It's nuts.
How does that feel?
Yeah, it's mental. It's mental. I mean, he's like, yeah, the man's a legend. And like he was playing, so a couple of years ago, I did a remix of, did this mashup of, so a guy called Dwell did a mashup of Kendrick and Everything That's Right Place. That like, I don't know if you heard it. It was, yeah. I did a remix of that. Then Diplo started playing that one out. And I remember thinking, damn, Diplo, can I swear? No.
We can edit it.
Diplo with my that's crazy. I remember being like, that's nuts. Like, I've loved this guy for ages. And like, to get his like confirmation is just nuts. And then like, I sent him Only Smoke. Must have been like 2 months before it came out. Got no response, seen no response. I was like, all right, calm, he doesn't with it, that's fine. And then he's playing it out everywhere. I'm like, what is going on? Like, how is this guy just like, he's just really loves the tune, and I'm just not sure. I've got no idea like what's going on.
I've known Wes for a very long time. That's basically what happens. He doesn't reply, and then someone tags you in a video of him in front of 45,000 people playing your tune.
I was like, hell yeah, man!
I'd rather that than a reply.
Isn't it? It's perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping for.
Now, I want to chat a little bit more about your journey into music, because I've seen interviews where you were releasing music as an 18-year-old student. Is that right?
Yeah.
Take me all the way back.
I was...
all the way back.
All the way, damn. So that, I've been writing tunes since I was like 14 years old. All
the best people start at 14, by the way.
Is that right?
I started at 14 as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, the best people.
Yeah.
Here we are. And I'd say like, I think that when I got to like 18, I started making songs that they weren't necessarily like, looking back on them, they weren't good, but they had something different to them. There was a quality in them that like stood out from the rest of what I was listening to. And obviously that's mainly taken from like influences and inspirations across the board. But then that's what all artists are, right? It's like, what bits and bobs do they take from people that they love that then influence their tunes? And with this, I mean, around that time, I was just listening to a lot of like chill out stuff, a lot of like, I don't know if you remember when like YouTube blogs and stuff like that kind of like ruled the world of music.
Yes.
There was no SoundCloud playlist. It was all just like SoundCloud. Sorry, there was no Spotify playlist. Loads of SoundCloud. No, like, just all just a YouTube, so the Sound You Need and Majestic Casual, like all of these guys. And like, I just was so on board with that. And I sent all of these labels my tunes, and they started like to really mess with them, and it was quite fun, like putting some stuff out with them. And then gradually, I just over like, I'd say like 5 years, started moving away from the chiller stuff. Excuse me. And started thinking, okay, well, I want to make stuff that makes people dance. And I was doing a series on Instagram called Songs for People You May Know. The idea was I would ask my audience, like, who do you want me to write a song for? And people would be like, oh, make a song for people who drink coffee when they're looking at the stars. And it'd be loads of lame stuff like that. But then there was someone who asked for, can you write music for people who love the opening song at a festival more than they love the closing song? And I wrote this song that's now called Opening Credits. And I made it, and it just went crazy, and like people loved it. And it was like a housey song, because like when you like opening a festival, like the first song you want to hear, there's like a big build up and then a huge drop. And yeah, I played that out at my first live show. It went crazy, and I was kind of just like, all right, well, I want to do this again. Like, it's so nice, like building a song and thinking, I wonder how like people are going to react in front of me to this. I wonder how I can make them react like the biggest. And not making music for other people, but making music that makes me do that, and then thinking, oh yeah, I know people are going to feel the same way about this. So then I started moving into like the houseier realm and making stuff that made people dance rather than sort of stuff you listen to while you're working.
I love that. And obviously then that means that if you're then doing live shows, you then can see the reaction. So you're then taking that into the next session and going, right, at that point, that's where they went nuts. What did I put in that that made that work?
Yeah. For sure.
I love that. I did want to touch on social media, given that you've got quite a visual approach to your music as well. With the likes of TikTok playing a huge role in these songs going viral today, do you ever think about how your music will actually translate on the social platforms as well as live, or do you just...
No, you can't. At least in my experience, you can't. You have to just think about the tune. That's the main thing. That's the thing you're like putting out there. That's the thing you're putting into the world. It's like the music comes first, and then afterwards you think, oh, how can I make this work visually?
Yeah.
It's like the same as like, I don't know, I mean, this is not really experience, but when I was like 14 and I was making Call of Duty montages, I'd be like taking these crazy shots from a distance, and I'd be like, oh, that's sick. But I'd choose a song and then I'd edit it to that. And the thing that had the impact was the song was strong enough to carry the video. What was going on like on those drops or on those moments just visually like elevated everything that was going on in the song. And it's kind of matching like the vibe and just elevating it, I guess.
I've never thought of it that way. but you've been able to articulate something that I have struggled with for a very long time. How do you make music work on socials? You just make the music and then find the visuals.
Yeah, honestly.
It's so simple when you say it. I'm like,
simple now, yeah.
I've been trying to do that for years. It's not worked. Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you in the studio.
No, it's been a pleasure,
really excited to hear what comes from you next. What are the plans for the rest of the year, for the start of next year?
So I'm playing in London in December. Come through if any of you are around.
Nice.
Honestly, more than welcome. I'm going around the States in November. So through, I think it's like 7 states, doing a little tour. And then, another single. The release date's not confirmed.
Okay.
But it's strong. That's as much as I can say, really. Like, I'm not going to sit here and sing it to you. Yeah.
Damn. Well, look, we can't wait to hear it. We can't wait to see what happens next. But until then, man, I have to tell you that this record, I Only Smoke When I Drink, it feels like it's only just getting started. It feels like this is going to be one of those tunes that is just going to dominate the whole of autumn and winter.
Oh, man. That's crazy to hear. Because it feels like, to me, this is surely peaking.
Not yet. Trust me, not yet.
That's mental.
Nimino, thank you for coming through.
Nah, thank you so much, Mr. Jam.
Let's make some noise for Nimino, please.
Yeah. Big ups, guys.